Well, hey, everybody, and happy Wednesday. And the first Wednesday that we're broadcasting in 2023. How about that, Kenneth Edmonds?
That's amazing. We've had some changes in our show, but we've been doing this for a while now, and we're in a brand new year, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an interesting year.
I'll tell you, a new month is a great time to level up. And I'm really excited, actually, by our first program today, which is we have a guest who's all about helping people to level up, and he's been doing it for a lot of years. And he's been working with a lot of great people, and that tradition continues this month in Scottsdale, Arizona. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guest, Mike Stramaglio. What do you say, Mike?
How are you, West? How are you, Ken? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Yeah. And we got another chime in here. I'll add her. Sharon joined us this morning as well.
Well, Happy New Year. Yeah, and thanks for joining us. I'm super excited. We're obviously going to be talking quite a bit today about something that's near and dear to your heart, coming up January 15th. So, Mike, maybe you can give us a little background. I'm just going to pull something up on the screen here on what is coming up for you on the 15th.
I appreciate it. I could probably talk about this for about 14 days, but you're going to get mad at me. So in short order, January 15th, as you can see here through the 18th, we have the Executive Connection Summit 23, which is the 9th summit that we've had, only interrupted by obviously COVID and all the things that happen around there. But I'm excited. We're breaking records. The agenda is jam-packed. We've had more people sign up, register. We sold out the Hotel Valley Ho. We're actually filling in a sister hotel just down the street. And I'm excited, Wes and Ken. We've got Microsoft, Intel, Mike Marusik from Sharp's going to be speaking, ConnectWise. We've got some of the best, most innovative companies in the industry and around the industry, like Microsoft and Intel. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I really am thrilled. You know, to really round it out, it's about inspiration. You know, it's about inspiring people. It's about innovation. It's about imagination. It's about networking, and it's about learning how to do new things for growth and floating all boats. So I'm thrilled.
I have too, and I think what's really exciting, Mike, is that this show. I mean, you know, obviously the roots that we have in the Office Equipment Channel has been changing dramatically in the last few years, as it's had to, right? And you know, certainly one of the things I love about what you're doing at ECS is bringing in these voices from other industries. They're going to have a huge impact on what we all do for a living, right? So as you mentioned, Microsoft being there, some of the conversations around big data and AI, around business diversification, moving into, you know, other areas of business in order to stay strong and frankly relevant for our customers in the coming years, right? And I think you said one really good thing there too about, you know, just sort of the attitude towards it. It's exciting, right? And ECS makes it exciting.
It is, you know what, it is exciting. It's not a trade show. It's about, you know, people coming, talking with each other, listening to each other, learning, and having a bit of fun here and there too. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. And this year, to be really candid with you, we kind of broke new ground. We have the BTA board who have decided to join us, which is a pretty significant thing. You know, we've always had BTA members, but we've never had the BTA board. So I'm thrilled that they have seen enough and learned enough about what we do to find it advantageous to come. So to David Palameni, the president of BTA, and Brent and Bob Goldberg, thank you all very, very much for investing and coming out to see us.
Yeah, really excited to see them co-locating there. And for those that are watching that don't know the BTA or the Business Technology Association, absolutely another amazing group, you know, really driving our channel forward, right? So super excited to, you know, to see them there, right? Yes. And I'm going to pull up one other picture here because I know you love this place because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you've held the event here every year, right? At the Hotel Valley Ho.
Yep, from the beginning. And one of the questions we always ask the people who come, all the attendees and VIPs, you know, would you like to change venues? And almost to a person, it's like never. We love the Valley Ho. It's a rat packy kind of boutique-y feel. The bar is fun and intimate. You know, you can talk and have a good time. And the property just works for us.
Yeah.
It's just a fun place.
It is. I always tell people, I mean, the first time that I was ever there was actually for an Executive Connection Summit. And I felt like I was on the set of Mad Men. You remember that show? I think it was HBO that had it on, right, during the crazy days of marketing and advertising. And they've done such a phenomenal job. The space really does inspire a relaxed atmosphere for people to have those conversations, right, about changing the future. And as we know, for many of these things that we attend, a lot of the conversation happens after the actual sessions, right? A lot of the brainstorming happens, during those moments afterwards. And I've never been to a better place to inspire that kind of conversation.
Well, thanks. Again, we have had people say, well, make the event bigger, make ECS bigger. And I've always maintained, no. The whole design of the event is for people to feel comfortable, to be able to move around a little bit, have whatever conversations they want, have a little fun. And so, we always target 300 people. This year, we actually just fell probably a few people short by design because we just don't want to make it uncomfortable. But yeah, the hotel is phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to cigars and bourbon. Thank you, Rob. So,
yeah, that'll be great. And the surrounding area is amazing too, right? I mean, Old Scottsdale, for those that haven't been there, is probably one of the neatest locations. Lots of artisans, great restaurants, great places to catch a drink outside the events as well, right? So
okay, so I just want to interject something, because I go back to something Mike mentioned earlier, and I wanted to jump in on this. You talked about the learning and the interchange, and I'm a really fan of one of the principles in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that is to sharpen the saw. And in that, he tells a story about if you haven't read it, I won't go through the whole story, but it's basically about a woodcutter that's challenged by a young woodcutter. And the old woodcutter, it sounded like he was taking breaks, but at the end of the day, he had cut more work than the big young guy. And he said that he wasn't taking breaks, he was sharpening his saw. And I teach this in my service management class is that for companies, for individuals, you've always got to be sharpening the collective saw. And it's events like this where you go in and get exposed to new ideas and new things that really start to open your mind and help you explore the possibilities that exist.
Well, Ken, I appreciate that. That's really nice. And I mean that literally, not some sales cliche, but I appreciate the fact that you could connect the dots that way. One of the things, I turned 73 years old in November, and I'm as excited about this business as I've ever been. And one of the things I really feel strongly about is, anybody can be negative. Anybody can be critical. Anybody can say things that they're not conducive to positivity and outcomes. But when you look at the agenda that we've created, I mean, look at these folks. We bring in people who are inspirational speakers and motivational speakers, certainly. We have experts like Tony Pater, who, frankly, I met him in the first year of my career. So here we are 47 years later, and he's gracing a stage to talk about things old and things new. Or Michael Reardon and other wonderful people who have so much to offer, Larry White from Toshiba and, Tammy from HP. So some controversy and some, how do we get better? And I might add a big PS on this, Ken. One of the biggest things that I focused on this year was, and I'm not a big fan of this word, but diversification. Diversification in business, next generational leaders. We've got Stephanie Keating and Chris Taylor, and so many young people and ladies who are going to take a panel like with Jenny Fisher. So we really, I think, have done as a team a wonderful job in spreading things out and sharpening that saw, Ken. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and it is about positive learning, right? I mean, it's I say it all the time. Ken does all the time. If you're not smiling and having fun, then what's the point, right? You gotta love what you do. And I saw a post actually yesterday. I think it was Eric Crump that posted it. And he was talking about the fact that yes, sometimes in life we do need, pessimists, right? But there was a definition that he used, which I really liked, which was working pessimists, right? Not sideline pessimists. So a sideline pessimist is one who just loves to complain about everything. a working pessimist can actually say, I like the idea, but have you thought about this, right? So it's this idea that, yes, we have to change. Yes, we have to challenge our ideas and expectations, but, good grief, let's make it, fun and exciting. And that's what ECS does. That's what you do.
Well, I appreciate it. Pessimist is just an optimist without a dream. It's just, when you look at the people who come, and we've got people coming from Tokyo, we've got people from all over, the country and the world coming. There's so much to learn. You have to actually work hard not to learn. You know what I mean? So that's what excites me.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think there is an event beforehand as well. So I think you will be having some like a private session with some of the members. I think there's a press event on the Sunday, if I remember correctly, looking at the agenda. And then there will be some fun as well, because you'll be doing some golfing afterwards, I think, too, right?
Yes, there's a wonderful golf tournament after the event on Wednesday afternoon, which thank you sponsors for ECS and for the golf tournament. But that's going to be fun. And I haven't been able to play golf much lately because of my back surgeries. So Patricia Ames and I will be roaming around in a golf cart, probably creating havoc somewhere all over the course. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's great.
See, and I thought you were going to be the beer people, you and Patricia.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if I know Patricia, we'll find a way to be what do they call that? The people that serve the drinks in the golf carts. That'll be us.
Yeah. I want to go back to the riff off of what Wes just mentioned about you talked about the pessimist. And one of the things I learned in a management class I took, or management exercise I went through, that I really liked, it's talking about taking ideas, and rather than rejecting ideas at their face, which is what, and I'm going to say this, for everybody in the audience, is a lot of times you get exposed to new ideas and you say, no, that won't ever work. And while almost every idea that you'll be exposed to in life has flaws, the perspective that you want to take, and I'm sure this is where Mike's going with his conference, is to say, okay, well, how can we make this idea better? How do we take the things that I've heard today, take them home, incorporate them in what I'm doing, and make things better?
Yeah, if you don't come to the event, and I've actually mentioned this to a few of my friends, if you don't come to the event curious, if you don't come to the event, with the right mindset, then don't come. Just don't come. I look forward to every speaker. I learn something from every presentation, every speaker, every attendee, because I try to listen. And I always love, there are two sayings that just drive me crazy. One saying is, with all due respect, because I want to just kill myself when I hear that.
That's, something's coming.
Yeah. With all due respect, you're an idiot, right? So, that one always drives me crazy. The other one is, that was over my head. Well, isn't it supposed to be?
Yeah.
If we're telling you what you know, then why did you come?
Yeah.
Right?
I love it. Learning is all about the things above our head.
Yeah, that was over my head. Well, geez.
And speaking of learning, I'm just going to go through some of the things that I see here on the agenda. Really excited about the panel on diversity. I think it's such an important thing in our channel. And that, as you know, in the past, Mike, I did a comic book, The Avengettes, right, which featured, some of the most prominent women in our industry. And I see in your panel, you got Jenny Fisher, Stephanie Keating, Melanie Patterson, Natalie Cumberbatch, and Patricia Ames. So really excited about, seeing that, right? And just how important diversity is. And it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by having groups like this speak to us, right?
Yeah, that panel I'm thrilled with. Obviously Great America has been a huge supporter for years. And again, some of the things we did differently with this summit, I actually went to some folks and said, hey, would you do me a favor? Would you own this segment? And therefore, there's no influence from Mike Stramaglio or our team. You own this segment. And so Jenny took ownership of that particular segment, and I'm looking forward to it. You see the ladies that are on the agenda, on the panel. my God, these are some of the most influential females in the business.
Absolute powerhouses.
Yep.
The other one I see at 2:00, I'm much excited about, this is on the 16th, is the panel on digital transformation, right? Another big area. And I love that it's so far forward in your event. It means that it's important, right? That we've got to be really strongly looking at what these things are. Obviously, you're going to be on the panel. You've been a leader in that space. Tana Pelletier, Brian Evergreen, Mark Good, Bobby Kenny, Steve Cundy, Peter Kajawa, and others, right? So really stoked about that and hearing what people are saying about, this digital transformation, what we need to do to embrace it.
Well, again, everyone has a definition for DX, right? Everyone has whatever their focus is, DX, DX1, DX2, DX3.
Yep.
This particular panel, one of the things I wanted to try and expand is the variety of definitions, and they all have value. They all have value. It's just a question of which one you as a dealer or whoever want to focus on where that value is for you to make money. How do you do it? How do you do it better? And by the way, you get a guy like Brian Evergreen, the Microsoft people.
Yep.
I mean, they're agnostic. All they care about is, how is your life going to improve with the things Microsoft does?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this one too. And again, props to Microsoft. Getting people from Microsoft to attend a summit like this is not a small feat.
No.
So, props and thanks to them.
Yeah, I always tell people when they ask, what I do for a living, and we talk about the Office Equipment channel, we work in a great channel, right? But it's certainly not, as big as, say, some of the other ones, right? If you're looking at, managed technology services, et cetera, which are typically more their wheelhouse, right? So, for them to embrace this and understand just how strong a lot of the dealers are and the community that exists in the Office Equipment channel, hats off to you, to get that range like Microsoft into the event.
Yeah, appreciate it. And looking at this particular screenshot, I mean, just look at the people here. I know Dan Cooper has decided that he is going to take a safari and he's having someone else speak for him. So this is a little dangerous. But the reality of it is Novatech has a very strong position. Jenny has a big position. And this gentleman, Maurice Allen, he's become a pretty darn good friend of mine over the course of the last year. World-class golfer, officially the long ball hitter. He drove golf balls over Niagara Falls.
Oh, wow. So, that's crazy.
Yeah. And he's got a hell of a life story. So, when you look at it, you got Mike Marusek on one end, obviously technology and all the things they do. Jenny there on the panel and doing her thing. But what a great team.
Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal team. And I just I'm so excited because there's a bunch of other folks that are going to be there too, which I've never met before because they're from, different channels than we typically serve. Right. And I think that's so important for any of the things that we do going into the future is making sure, like you said, I want to see as much over my head as possible. Right. And at ECS, it looks like we got it going on. Yeah.
The other thing I would probably add to that I'm having pride is not a word that I like to use, but I'm pretty proud of the team. The team that worked on this agenda, just amazing group of people. They're volunteers. I mean, they take guidance, direction, and then they give it. And you're right. I mean, if we will have failed if someone doesn't walk away going, man, I didn't know that.
Right.
They need to know that.
Well, and Mike, I appreciate you letting me come there. I will be covering the event enthusiastically. I'll be producing a video for the event to make sure that those that aren't part of the 300 get an opportunity to see that. I think there's a T-shirt somewhere in there, right? You remember the 300, the movie about the Spartans?
Yeah.
I love it. And so I'll make sure that that's covered as well as, daily, things during the actual event so that people can see, exactly how much magic happens at the show. I've been fortunate enough to be there for a number of years myself and super thrilled that you're, going to have me this year as well to cover it.
Well, thank you. And I think, if I can be a little bold, the whole point in doing it in January is to kick off the year and for everyone's benefit to find the right vibe. We've all lived through some craziness the last couple of years. Last January, that summit really was like a jailbreak. People were excited to be together. This year, there's a lot of that, still, but I think the need for greater education and performance has risen, now that people are more comfortable. So we have to deliver. And the other thing I would say too is that, this year is going to have some challenges.
Sure.
We did a poll and we surveyed 100 CEOs of all different sizes of dealers and developers and big companies that people I know. And 76 out of the 100 said that we're barreling towards a recession.
Yep.
So I'm not an economics major. I don't know, but certainly there's a vibe out there that says if it isn't a recession, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to try and accomplish with our little event is how do you recognize the reality? How do you deal with it?
Yeah.
And that's really one of the underlying, I think, objectives of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and facing it head on, right? And there's nothing better than asking those hard questions and having such a group of smart people together to work on, some of those solutions, right? Absolutely, love the idea. And hey, listen, in respect for your time, I know we're getting down towards the end here. I want to thank you so much for joining us today to share about what's going to be going on at ECS. Certainly cannot wait to see you there. I actually fly down on my birthday, January 15th. So I'll make sure I have a glass of champagne on the plane while I'm getting there. And for our program next week, I'm just going to do a little segue here. I'm not sure how much attention everyone's been paying to artificial intelligence, but we have a guest on next week, which is ChatGPT. And so say hello to everyone to ChatGPT. And I did ask it actually just a few minutes ago some fun things to do while we're in Scottsdale. And apparently the AI thinks we should visit the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art. I think I've actually been there before, it's an amazing space. So definitely doing that. Go shopping at the Scottsdale Fashion Square, high-end shopping with over 250 stores and restaurants. I've never been there, but Leslie, my wife, is coming. So maybe we'll get out and check that out. Take a tour of the Taliesin West.
Yeah.
What is that, Mike?
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's Arizona special. So you've got it all. You've got it, cowboys, desert, architecture, everything. It's beautiful. It's worth it.
I love it. Play around at golf at the golf courses. Check. Explore the Scottsdale Arts District. Don't definitely be doing that, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, that is in Old Scottsdale, right? Like close to where the event is. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, you're 50 yards away from the center of Old Town Scottsdale, which is a lot of fun.
Great. And we got a nice comment here from Michael Cousins. West with T and Michael Stramaglio, two of the best making it happen. ECS 2023 will be epic and a win again. A great event, great leaders, and meaningful content this year. Again, to help steer the way through the impending recession and slowdown. What a benefit for all business leaders. So, Mr. Cousins, thank you very much. Completely agree. Couldn't do any better than to be at an event with Mike Stramaglio and everyone that's going to be there. So, Mike, thanks for joining us on the program here today. Any closing thoughts before we head out?
No, I just wish everybody a very happy new year, healthy, safe, and fun. Look forward to seeing everyone soon. So thank you, Russ. I really appreciate it.
Yes. And thanks, Jenna, for the thing there. I was going to close it off, but Camelback Mountain I've actually hiked, I think, 4 times. I typically do it every time I go there. And the last time I was there with my wife, Leslie, we actually got stopped for 15 minutes on the trail because of a rattlesnake sitting on a rock at shoulder height. It was literally 2 feet away from us. We couldn't move until it left. So, yes.
Plan.
Be careful. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, remember, keep learning.
Keep leveling up.
Level up.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.